It took me over 300 hours to complete this challenge on Wynncraft, the Minecraft MMORPG Grian server. Yes, that Grian. The goals of this challenge are A. Survive 100 Minecraft days while keeping the hardcore tag, which turns grey once I die. And B. Gets all the way to level 105. Watch until the end as this was super intense and I almost died even at day 97. On day 1 I started a new hardcore Iron Man warrior. I skipped and finished the tutorial, killed mobs, looted some chests, leveled up, found a rarity in the first high tier chest that I opened. I was really lucky as that's the best XP bonus rank in the game, with really good loot bonus as well. I got 14% loot bonus and that was amazing, so I put it on. I leveled up twice. There was this do not enter sign, so after bumping my head naturally, I entered and I got a pretty nice loot chest because of it. I leveled up again. I switched to javelin, which is a spear that does significantly more damage than the starter one, and because of that I was able to pick up this key, open this door, get this secret discovery, and kill this mini boss, which gave me a legendary helmet which gave me 59 HP, which isn't much as it can be rerolled up to 120 HP, but it's good. I leveled up, went into this cave where you need to kill 2 key guardians to proceed, and has like harder sections the further you go in, and after falling down only once in this nasty parkour, I got legendary pants. I had my inventory filled, so I put my emeralds into my pouch, which is a compensation for not being able to use bank in the Iron Man mode. I leveled up, then I got to 11 health and leveled up right after, which saved my life. If I didn't level up, I would die. I almost died at day 1 and I still have 99 days to go. Oh boy, this will be fun. On day 2 I did the Tunnel Trouble quest, in which I helped Drail, a person dressed as a cow, steal cows. But remember this person as it is not the last time we will be seeing her. I leveled up and forgot to talk to the last NPC, so I didn't finish the quest to get the fast travel between Ragni and Deathless, which was the only reason I did the quest, and within the entire 100 days I then never did. I went into the corrupted salted Grian Juma cave, I got a legendary spear, I leveled up, which unlocked my movement spell, which made it easier for me to get to the Bear Island, where I bought the Bear Armor, which is a really good early game set because it gives you a lot of health and damage. After that I got my first liquid emerald on day 2, that's 3 times faster than the winner of the competition I organized, in which people had to get 1 LE on a new class. Not to brag, but okay, I am bragging, I would have won that thing full on. Anyways, I went into the fast travel that I thought I unlocked, but I didn't actually complete the quest, so I got teleported back to the tunnel. Then I figured I just had to talk to the last NPC to finish the quest, so I TP'd back to Ragni, but it didn't work, probably because I went into the tunnel in the first place, and that's why I never finished the quest. Then I leveled up when I entered the Pigman Ravines, and on day 3, after placing a mob totem near this boss pigman that gives a lot of XP, I leveled up all the way to level 20. Then I pressed this button, which summoned a minecart with TNT, which blew up this rock. I got to see how pigmen are created, and I got a secret discovery. After that I leveled to level 21. I started the Macabre Masquerade quest. I got an unidentified set boots, which I hoped were adventures because my plan was to get the entire adventures set and another boots. The chance of getting them was higher as boots could also be more. Then I leveled up in this room, got another 2 pairs of boots. This is a surprisingly good grind spot. And I leveled up while killing the boss and another time after finishing this quest, as it gives really good XP. And I found another boots. Hopefully at least one of them will be adventurers. On day 4 I identified the boots and at least one of them were adventurers, so I kept those. I started the dungeon quest, went into this grey world, finished it and went into the dungeon. I yeeted the mobs in the survive part with uppercut out of the map, so I was saved both times. And then I spawned minions that fought the boss, and finishing the dungeon leveled me up 4 times. Then I went to the Half Moon Island to loot chests and get myself the complete adventure set, as that is the best place to get it. I leveled up, I got leggings, chestplate, but I didn't find the helmet, so I TP'd back to Nemract. And on day 5 I finally found the adventures cap, so I equipped it to have the full adventures set. I bought a lot of potions and went to Mount Wind Spider's grind spot, where someone was already grinding, so I placed a totem next to them and leveled up 10 times, almost dying before getting to level 40. On day 6 I powdered my temporary weapon Lust and went to Levigar to do the quest in which you need to find treasure, which I did. I got 100,000 emeralds, but the villager took 999,850 emeralds out of it, which left me only with 150. And then just yeeted himself into the stratosphere and probably, hopefully, died due to fall damage. Then I went to the Levigar Spider's grind spot and leveled up 2 times, and I got halfway to level 43. Then I went to Selchar to buy a TP scroll there, as I will need it later on, and then I went to Notgush Island. I bought a really good chestplate and leggings and started the Ice Nations quest. I loot ran the chests on the islands around and I got an absolutely godly one with 2 fabled items in them, which is like extremely rare. It's, well, 10 times as rare as getting 2 legendaries in one chest. Then I ID'd them together with a spear that I started using. I kept the better ones and I bought a winter scarf. And after completing the Ice Nations quest on day 7, I had really good level 40 set in which I was able to go to Nasak. I brought scrolls, which I tried to have always in my hotbar so that if I was getting close to death, I could just TP out of danger. I powdered my weapon and I started another dungeon quest. Let it snow, which I finished, and then I went onto the dungeon. On day 8 I did this invisible path without falling once, which I am incredibly proud of. I also did this part without being blocked off. The trick is to go slowly at first to regen your mana, and once you see the white particles, spam your movement spell as much as possible, and then go slowly after. And then head shakes, as getting carried in dungeons isn't against the rules, although mostly I tried to solo the bosses, but not all the time. Killed the boss in few seconds and I leveled up 4 levels. However, I did switch to the YouTuber server for the majority of this run later on. After Bomb Bell, which is a feature of the champion rank, showed me that there's a dungeon bomb on another server, I switched to enter the dungeon and then switched back to the server with double XP. Champion rank is really OP, but at least it's worth the $170. Oh, and by the way, if I will get enough Patreons, I will make a champion rank giveaway in the form of a competition. I also want to thank my current Patreon Unstanding. After that, I finished the dungeon, again, leveling me up 2 levels, and luckily there was a key guardian right in front of the dungeon, so we used that key to enter the dungeon the 3rd and last time, and finishing the dungeon leveled me up to level 50. On day 9, I went to the Wind Excavation Site B, but I found out that I didn't complete Wind Excavation Site A, so I went to Nemrak, started the Mercenary quest, TP to Deathless, started the Horse quest, killed this level 13 boss, finished it, got a horse, did the Wind Excavation Site A quest. I know these puzzles by heart by now. I skipped the parkour, killed the mummy, finished the quest, killed a random bandit leader, finished the mercenary quest, which leveled me up and gave me a fabled bracelet. Then I went back to Ice Barrows to buy the necklace that I forgot to buy once I was there, Crystal, which gives some nice XP and loot bonus, and I identify the bracelet. Vindicator is a really good bracelet as it gives decent health, loot, and XP bonus, plus Magnet Major ID, which pulls all items in 8 block radius to me, and I had really good rolls on it as well. Then I bought more potions, actually went to do an excavation site B. I did these puzzles so many times that I am really fast at them, and I finished the quest. I then started the Twain Mansion, where I had to fight 3 bosses that have for some reason less health than normal mobs in this area and are pretty much just one shot. And on day 10 I didn't need to look up this code as I had it in my memory. I killed a comparatively harder boss, I finished the quest and it gave me a liquid emerald. So now I have 2 LE. And then I went into the Prison of Souls boss altar, and although Headshakes was in there with me, I told him not to attack and I soloed the boss altar. I didn't get the items that I wanted, so I wanted to redo it, however I got stuck in a block. So I desperately tried to slash class my way out of there and eventually I did. So I went in again. I used the skill potions again, and from the unfeathered I got the chest plate, and from killing the unbound I leveled up. But as it was stuck in the wall, the drops dropped behind the wall, so I grinded for more unsettling souls in this cave that I actually built myself. If you didn't know, I am a Wynncraft builder. And I got the pens that I need from killing the unfeathered, and I got the chestplate again from killing the other one. Shackles of the Beast, Mario's Prison with 5 mana steel, I put them both on. And on day 11 I used my LE to trade horses once and twice, and I got a black horse. Then I crossed the Great Bridge, I got a legendary spear, and I started doing another dungeon quest. I brought this green thing to its death, and I finished the quest. On day 12, I identified the legendary spear that could have been either Rebellion or Fierté, one of them being far more superior to the other. Sadly, I got Rebellion, which I can't use due to not having enough skill points, so I sold it. Fierté is the spear that I wanted, as it was the best spear I could get at that time for a hardcore account, as it had solid damage and it gave some health when you hold it. I found another, higher level legendary spear, but I wanted Fierté, so I didn't take it. Then I accidentally used a key to the Undergrowth Ruins dungeon, so I asked the person that was just there to join me, and we did the dungeon together. This parkour gives me Vietnam flashbacks. Also, I used to play on hunted mode as well, which allowed other people to attack and kill me. But after other people attacked and killed me, surprise, and uploaded it onto YouTube, thanks Lilyflower, link is in the description, I stopped. Anyways, we finished it. I leveled up 2 levels and finished loot running the upper jungle. After which I went into the herb cave at day 13 to level up. After which I went loot running into the Durnal lower jungle where I found some legendary items. But once I identified it on day 14, I found out I got nothing good except for this bracelet, which although had the worst roll I have ever seen on this bracelet, still gave me 600 HP, so I kept it and I would put it on in a boss fight. I bought Strom's TP Scroll and TP to Levigar. Started Heart of Iron Part 1 quest, in which I killed a malfunctioning iron golem, which had dire implications for Part 2. I finished the quest and I started the Masterpiece quest, in which I had to lie to a blind artist. I nearly died again, and I found 2 things. A rare spear, and that the artist uses his own blood when he's out of red, so I knew I was talking to a sane person. I leveled up and finished the quest getting the Masterpiece, which I kept for the future. I went to Olux, where I broke a chandelier to get a secret discovery, made this golem free this saw, which opened a tunnel into a meeting room where a suspicious person wanted people from the Major of Olux, and I got a secret discovery. On day 15 I did another Olux secret discovery, and I started the first part of the 5-part questline Realm of Light Wormholes. Whee! Trampoline! We got ambushed by a group slang, and I was really afraid of this quest as I died on several attempts in this survived 90-second part. But I survived. I mean, I got eaten by the group slang, but Larry then killed it, so it was alright. I leveled up and I unlocked my first raid, which I immediately did. Haha, just kidding, I would die. I found a spear that could be Fierté, and I did another secret discovery, which was me breaking into a house where I found out more about some missing people. On day 16 I went to the Volcanic Isles, looted the tier 4 chest there, and did the Wind Excavation Site C quest, in which I found out a bit that Wind Excavation is more than they seem. I identified the 2 spears and I got another Rebellion and a Demon Seeker, which I rerolled, got even worse stats, so I rerolled it again and ended up with a pretty good XP and loot bonus spear to use for leveling and opening chests. Then I started the passage quests, but I didn't have Fierté, so I didn't think I would be able to kill the boss, so I went to Olux, I did another secret discovery, which leveled me up, and I started Ironheart Part 2, which took me into a factory where I did this dropper on the first try, and I found out that a scientist is brutally changing villagers into iron golems while they are still conscious to protect the provinces, and he gave me a choice to either keep his secret and help keep the province safe, or to tell the police and prevent him from doing brutal experiments on innocent people. Now, it should have been an ethical choice, however these 2 choices give you different rewards, and I wanted to deal against you get when you snitch, so I snitched and I got my Griefs of Honor, which I ID'd to 15% XP bonus, and then rerolled to 19% XP bonus, which is still very little, and finally on the 3rd roll I got 30% XP bonus, which was not bad. After that, on day 17, I didn't think I was getting a Fierte anymore, so I bought Warlord from Trom's weapon shop, which also gave health and even health regen as a bonus. I bought potions and went to the boss altar, where again, though there were people there since I was streaming, I asked them not to do damage and I soloed the boss. I finished the passage, which leveled me up. I loot ran the rest of the day, all of the jungle. I almost died again. And on day 18, I identified all I found and I got plenty of items that I didn't need, but I got a better XP bonus Demon Seeker, and then an even better XP bonus Demon Seeker, a 30% XP bonus Gaze, and oh my god, finally, a Fierte! I added powders onto it and I went to kill the altar boss again, and as I had Galloping Spurs, the level 40 Fabled Boots, they allowed me to attack while riding on a horse, dealing 70% of the damage I would normally. So this time I just attacked him from the horse and I was safe most of the time, and I even got the chest plate I wanted at the end. Then I went in again, killed him again, almost died because I wasn't using the horse strategy, and I got the chest plate again. So the third time I went in, I did it on my horse again, and after I killed him, I had enough antic beds to buy a Mask of Courage. Then when I identified the items, I had no idea how it appeared in my inventory, but I got a Jera, which are the leggings with the most loot bonus out of all, and I got really good roll on a real good chest plate on a Ñahronkas, which not only gives me 1700 HP, but I need 85 defense points in order to wear it. Those multiply my health by 2.5 times, so I'll be good with this one for a while. I rerolled my Jera from 15% loot bonus to 22, which wasn't that good, and after collecting all of my remaining money to reroll my Jera one more time, because each reroll costs 5 more times than the previous one, so a third reroll costs 25 times more than the first one, I got 46% loot bonus on it. Yes! On day 19, I didn't have enough emeralds to buy a Seaskipper ticket, so I had to loot some chests to even get to Mage Island, where I started the Harry Potter quest, which had cool animations, and I went to Hogwarts, Brookwards. There I looted the tier 4 chests and signed up to classes. I played with Tesla coils. Does that mean Tesla is canonical in the Wynncraft universe? We'll never know. The best way of doing this Bible puzzle is to write the order in the chat so that when they will shuffle, you don't have to remember their positions. And after completing this quest and graduating after like 15 minutes, I wish all schools were like that, I got 32 emerald blocks, which increased my balance to, well, 32 emerald blocks, and I unlocked the fast travel across oceans, so I didn't need to pay Seaskipper anymore. Then I discovered a secret discovery where I met a friendly Groot Slang. I leveled up on day 20, and after resetting my skill points, that allowed me to put on my Onenya Hronkas, and after shouting, I was ready to enter the Nest of the Groot Slang raid. In the first room, I had to stand on this platform. I chose Vampire buff, which gave me more health. The second challenge, we had to collect tokens, which you gain through various ways by mostly doing this parkour. I got Vampire 2, which gave me additional health. Then we summoned these platforms on which we killed bosses, but I jumped into one way too fast and got stuck in it, and as it didn't teleport me away after some time, we decided to restart, but that was a mistake. As the next run on day 21, we got teleported out of the boss because of the bug that happens when you exit a raid without /classing, which we didn't know yet, so we went in again. I almost died after trying to solo the boss in these platforms room. This raid is really difficult as the boss can one-shot most of the level 60 players and has 1 million health. However, once we got to it, we yet again got teleported out of the raid before we could even kill it. On day 22, we went into the raid again. This was the first time someone else had to use the runes, and the Into Miniature Party will be kicked out of the raid message appeared again because we didn't /class, but we were able to kill the boss before it CP'd us out. We completed the raid, I survived, and I got the raid chest, from which I got 2 tomes and a charm, which gave me 31% XP bonus, and the tomes gave me defense and slaying XP bonus. After that, I went to Pirate Cove and I did the quest there. I put an emerald block here, and I made this cannonball part on the first attempt, while usually it takes like 20. Then I used the Harry Potter fast travel to move across the ocean. And on day 23, I entered the oldest part of Wynncraft build-wise, which has a lot of secrets like this, which are cool but visually just look awful. It also has a tier 3 and a 4 chest, but I didn't bother with those as they give level 20 loot. And I finished the quest which leveled me up and gave me cool legendary boots. I started another dungeon quest, the Redbeard's Booty. I put my new boots on, pirates left me stranded on an island, but I got out and finished the quest. And on day 24, the Galleon's graveyard appeared right in front of my eyes, glorious in all its beauty. I entered the dungeon. I hate this part right here. And fun fact, you can use your movement spell instead of doing the boat parkour. Then I told all the people that followed me to not go into the boss room with me, as I have an excellent tactic with which I killed the boss countless times on my previous attempts alone, and I got a lot of XP from it. First, I put all my XP bonus gear on me, that's all I needed. Yes, after that I just needed not to die, and all you do is just run to the pressure plates and let the cannonballs do their thing. The key here is to not attack, as if you do, you will also attack the cannonballs, which will only prolong the boss fight. And this way, by the time I did the second round of the cannonballs, after admittedly almost dying, I leveled 5 levels in one go. Then I went in again. And on day 25, I just let Jigsaw and the Lazy Seal do all the damage and kill the boss almost instantly. And that leveled me up 3 more levels, and I bought a 25 Black Horse, then I started Taproot, the second installment of the Realm of Light questline, in which I met Triple Larry as per usual, and I got stuck in the office where I needed to kill the mayor of Olux instead of the evil scientist to prove that I'm good to Orpheon, or the Light Beast. Kinda makes it seem like the Light Beast isn't that good after all, but as I had no TV scrolls to gavel, I TV'd to Trobs where I loot ran the rest of the day, and I found a mob that looked like Bakal flying up high in the sky. No idea what it is, but it reminded me of those beds you see in Bed Wars at the very bottom of the world. On day 26, I started the Lost Souls quest, where I had to give the boots I got in the pirate quest because they were stolen. It was full of puzzles, but I already knew all of them and all the codes, so I just finished the quest and got another legendary boots with pretty good XP bonus. On day 27, I loot ran around Sinfras, nearly died in this cave. I severely underestimated their defenses. I got several legendaries, but finally at the end of day 27, I found the legendary spear I wanted, which on day 28, after selling the painting I got all the way back on day 14 for 3 LE, I ID'd it. I got 3 Dragon Tongues, which is a really good legendary spear that I was going to use after I got to level 74, and 2 Scythes, which is the spear I wanted at that moment. I put powders on it and decided to finish Taproot's quest, the one that I started but didn't finish. There was this place that I was afraid of as I died there on a run before, and that's this one where you have to get a piece of iron or something in a field of very dangerous roses. So I picked it up and ran away as fast as I could, and I survived. After that, I saw a Harry Potter styled fight between good and evil in a cutscene, which was really cool, and I finished the quest from which I got a unique rank, which was the reason I did the quest in the first place, as it gives mana regen 5 skill points, and I rolled it to 9% XP bonus, which is really good as the maximum is 10. Then I bought some potions, and I started the final and the most epic Win Excavation quest, Site D, on day 29. For a long time, this used to be the longest quest in the game. I found out that the Win Excavation was a cult, and because of that I was wanted and went into the temple where I shouted, and I went to kill one of the hardest bosses in game alone and on level. This is where I died in the video that I did about the craziest 100 days attempt I had a few months ago. I killed the first phase. On day 30, I even killed the second phase. The third phase started being very dangerous as I had to constantly use healing potions, but I killed all 3 phases and got 4 LE and leveled up. After that, I went to the forgery and I went into the corrupted decrepit sewers dungeon, where I needed to get 18 kills. We murdered the boss instantly, and I leveled up, and we went into the corrupted infested pit, which we on day 31 killed, and I leveled up. So we went into corrupted lost sanctuary, which we completed, but my group went into the boss room without me, so I had to wait for them to go through the entire dungeon again, and we killed the boss, and I leveled up 2 levels. After that, I opened the forgery chest, which leveled me 7 levels. Forgery chest with XP bonus was OP. On day 32, I powdered my Dragon's Tongue, which is an excellent weapon for a hardcore series due to its high health regen, and I went into the Corrupted Underworld Crypt dungeon. Luckily, we were able to just uppercut this boss out of the arena, so he couldn't kill me, and we killed the boss, which leveled me up. Nice. And I went again on day 33. Thing to say about this dungeon is that you get very little mob kills, so if you don't kill a lot of mobs in the first room, you oftentimes have to wait before starting the boat to get your kills. I leveled up again. I went in 2 more times. I was kinda scared as on one of the attempts I got 1 shot here, but I have no idea what, and after finishing it I leveled up to level 85. On day 34, I went in again, twice, and after completing it and leveling up to 86, I finally had enough Charon brains to buy Argos, a really good legendary level 86 chestplate with tons of health and defense. After that, I went into the Corrupted Sandswarp Tomb dungeon, which we completed on day 35, when I went into the Corrupted Ice Barrows dungeon. I wanted to level up quickly so that I could get good items that would ensure that I wouldn't die and I could safely do lower level stuff. I leveled up with completing it and went back to CDS because I wanted to open a 6 out of 7 forgery chest for a massive level up. I did CDS, on day 36 I did CIP CLS, which leveled me up and I was able to open a 6 out of 7 forgery, and then I had to decide whether it was enough or if I wanted to go for a full 7 out of 7 forgery, which gives more XP. However, for 7 out of 7 forgery, you need to complete Corrupted Undergrowth Ruins, which you can enter only at level 89, and I was level 88, so I went into CIP again. And on day 37 I went into CIP again, which was a multi-purpose decision as I hoped it would give me enough XP to level up, which it did, and I was able to buy Vanguard, a really cool bracelet that I replaced my old one with. I used my last dungeon bomb here, and finally I went into Corrupted Undergrowth Ruins, which inexplicably had the same amount of kills needed for forgery chest as Corrupted Underworld Crypt, even though you killed about 4 times more mobs each run here than in CUC. Anyways, I completed it and went to open the forgery chest, and remember how many levels a 3 out of 7 forgery chest gave us? Well, now I opened a 7 out of 7 forgery chest and I almost fell off the island, which would cancel my forgery chest. Luckily I didn't, and the forgery chest gave me 4 levels, which is really good at this level. On day 38 I saw a lot of mythic boxes being thrown in fast, and I decided to do the forgery chest again. CDS and CIP on 38. CLS, which leveled me up, CUC, where I had to use the Blood Mill 100 to get any kills, and CSST on day 39, and CIB and CUR on day 40. So I was able to open the forgery chest again. This time I put all XP bonuses I had on me and leveled up 5 levels. Holy macaroni, I did not expect that. With this rate, it seems like it really will not be a problem to get to 105 within these 100 days. So I got persuaded to do the forgery chest again at day 41. As you can see on day 42, when I completed CSST, I didn't want to level up to level 100 before opening the forgery chest, so I gave a lot of the XP I got from completing this set of dungeons to my guild. I did this due to something called overflow XP, which means that if you level more than 2 levels at once, you actually level more XP than you should. That's how I was able to get 6 levels from one forgery chest, which normally would level you 1 level maximum, and I wanted to do it again. So on day 43 I opened the forgery chest and I leveled 2 levels all the way to level 101, which is less than I hoped for, but it is understandable as for these higher levels you need way more XP than for the lower ones. On day 44 I finally finished the dungeon grind and went to do the Lexdale Witch Trials quest, where I followed this little bug through some parkour and got a liquid emerald as a reward. After that I started grinding ingredients, which I continued for the first half of day 45. I especially hated grinding these things as you need 30 of them and they spawn so little. I then took those ingredients and gave them to this hobbit, which in return gave me the ultimate weapon for completing the quest, ultimate weapon, and then I sold the ultimate weapon to a merchant nearby for 7 liquid emeralds. I had 17 LE after that. This quest is kind of a parody on the grinding quests that RPGs are known for, but you get a really solid reward for it. I started the acquiring credentials quest, I kicked some people off of an airship on day 46, pro tip if you don't want them to notice you use a ranged attack, then I went through a lot of trouble to a black market to find a ticket that this NPC lost, only to find out he had one in his pocket the whole time, so he gave it to me and I boarded an airship, which got attacked by pirates, so I killed the pirate queen. Remember this, as this will be important later on. And I got back to Deathless on day 47, completing a flight in distress quest, unlocking the fast travel between Deathless and Sinfras, and getting the godliest ring of rubies I have ever seen, which was even better than my rarity, so I put it on instead of my rarity. After that I went to the Gilead Tower and I did part 1 of Hunger of Girds, as it gave me a lot of emeralds at the end and it leveled me up to level 102. So I had only 3 levels to finish my goal and I had more than half of the days left to complete it. Sweet! I didn't do part 2 as that gives no emeralds. And on day 48 I did General's Orders, a quest where I need to complete ridiculous orders like walk on a tightrope or paint a mountain, and then I found out that the general isn't the general at all, but a shape-shifting crazy creature which I've killed. I then killed trolls for the rest of the day to get 10 troll hair, which I used on day 49 to trade in the quest Thanos Bazaar, which I really liked. After that I bought this helmet for loot bonus and these boots, as they are really good hardcore boots from the Thanos armor merchant. And by Thanos I mean Thanos, not Thanos. Everything clear? Great. Then I went to do the Belly of the Beast, a quest in which I got eaten by a dragon, and it was the only time I can recall on Wynncraft that I needed some actual knowledge from the vanilla game, and that was in this puzzle where I had to order these items by the duration they burn in a vanilla furnace. After that I did the quest Thanos Vaults, in which I just stole. Whoever told you that the Win player was good was lying. Oh, and I killed a giant. On day 50 I did more Roger's Dues, which unlocked this gate and gave me 2 LE. I identified the chestplate I got from Belly of the Beast. It had pretty good XP, so I decided to use it as my XP bonus chestplate, and I started the Hidden City quest. I bought woolly long johns from the Thesad merchant after, because those pants have really good health regen, and I found Enza's ideals, which gave me almost 5,000 health plus health regen, so I instantly equipped it. On day 51 the server wanted to restart, so before it did, I decided to loot some chests as I needed some higher level items. I also went down this hole without taking this high tier chest, so I had to return, which cost me time as server restarted shortly after, and because of that I looted less chests. I bought Rodrock's Guard from Rodrock Armor Merchant because it had good defense, which I replaced my woolly long johns with. I didn't get anything good from loot running. On day 52 I continued the Realm of Light questline because I wanted a bracelet that you get at the end of it. I started with Headless History, which was basically this mini movie within Wynncraft about the lore of Larry and Delahan. I really liked it the first time I played through, as it has a really good story, but it's really long. As I continued doing the quest all throughout day 53, when I accidentally was charged before going into a cutscene, which resulted in me having charged all throughout the cutscene. It was really funny, not gonna lie. And I finished the quest. I also started the 4th part of the Realm of Light quest line, Finding the Light, which I continued on day 54. I failed this parkour several times, got the spell, but something didn't work, so I had to go into the church again, complete this parkour, get the spell again, and then it allowed me to fight Larry on day 55, after stalking her for some time. This was the cave in which I died the first time I ever attempted this challenge, and it was because I had jump height on that cancelled the fall damage resistance I was supposed to have in this cave, so when I fell, I died. That is the main reason why I am doing this quest line, as the final quest gives you a bracelet which gives you complete fall damage resistance, so this will not be able to happen ever again. Then I fought Larry, where I almost died, even at level 102. So I quickly TP'd out of there, bought some potions, and then I almost died a few more times, but I could heal it with my potions, and I completed the quest and started the final quest of this pentalogy, the Realm of Light, in which I went to the Realm of Light. Fun fact, there are 2 high tier chests in the Realm of Light. Then on day 56 I got stuck in the back rooms. I did some cool parkour, fought my reflection, and saw Bakal fight Larry in one of the most epic fights in this entire game. Oh my god, how didn't that sword rip him in pieces? And it ended with Larry being dragged to dirt, and me finishing the quest on day 57, unlocking the Nexus of Light Raid and completing it. Just kidding, I'm keeping that for the 200 days video. I would have died. But I did get a Fabled Bracelet, so I identified it, and not only did I get full damage resistance, but also 20% XP bonus. Wow! I also decided to use the helmet from the 4th part of Realm of Light questline for my XP bonus set with its 20% XP bonus. After that, I did CDS, CIP, CLS, in which I collected 9 TNT beforehand and used them at the start of the boss fight so that he would fall in sooner. On day 58, I did CUC, the parkour jump height from Double Vision was very irritating, CSSC, and on day 59, CIB and CUR. So I opened the forger chest with the maximum XP bonus I could get, and I leveled up a level. On day 60, I started Fallen Delivery, did 2 Canyon of the Lost secret discoveries, killed this speedy boss, and got 32 EB after finishing the quest. On day 61, I did Aldore Valley Part 1. I did literally the only professions in this entire video here, and I leveled up my cooking a lot. I fought a carnivorous plant several times because I forgot to pick up the book, and I didn't bust the thief while finishing the quest. On day 62, I did part 2. This puzzle got way easier since the last time I remember doing it, and because I chose the right thing in the first part of not busting the thief because he had family to take care of, I got rewarded 2.5 liquid emeralds. Then I started Cow Fusion, a quest in which you get turned into a cow and get milked. Also remember Drail, the human that dressed as a cow that we met on day 2 and the quest I started but still haven't completed? Well, she's a real cow now and she's got it pretty good. I killed a minotaur and got 1 LE. On day 63, I continued with the Hidden City quest. I went into a secret human city and crashed an airship that would have uncovered the illegal city, brutally killing everyone on board, and then getting liquid emerald from a parent of the person that I just let die. Yeah, and then I went to Corcus. And on day 64, I finished the Envoy Part 1, getting 2 LE and starting Part 2. I got shot from a catapult, and on day 65, I entered this pipe where I started drowning. Would be a very yikes moment to die here, and I witnessed the initial blueprints of Corcus by Mr. Coffee Time that are available in-game. And I finished Envoy Part 2, which leveled me up and unlocked the Fallen Factory dungeon. I then followed this ghost across Corcus outskirts, getting into the Lost Avos city. It's a discovery which takes a really long time to get through. Until on day 66, I got to a boss with a lot of phases. When I killed, I got a legendary helmet which has high health and health regen, which I rolled badly, so I re-rolled it and I got a pretty good, and I started the Feathers Fly Part 1 quest. I distracted the Avos chieftain while Avos saw something that everyone had free entry for. I got flown into a really racist shopkeeper with extreme protective measures that nevertheless I still got through because, you know, I'm the player. Then on day 67, Ava paid with emeralds and some weird green potion that is not Wynncraft currency, and I finished Feathers Fly Part 1. I also got this fun thing that gave me additional jump height, and I started Feathers Fly Part 2. I disabled some robots, I pet Pip for like an hour. This dialogue was way better with the old dialogue system where you could see all the petting dialogue pile up in the chat. On day 68, I then found the bone that I gave to Pip, who took me to a secret room where I found the power armor. Well, I found all the armors, but I gave Ava the power armor as it was the best. People then admired her better. I found a speaker with 22% XP bonus, which wasn't that much, so I rerolled it, hoping to get the 33 that it can give. I got 24%, which was, but I didn't want to reroll it as it could have been way worse. I then had a meeting on day 69 where Ava showed her new inventions to Corkians, and I didn't do a single mistake with operating the machine. But then Ava created a giant plant in the middle of Corcus that I had to kill, and I finished the quest getting 3 LE. On day 70 I loot ran but got nothing. On day 71 I went into the Fallen Factory dungeon, but as I still had a level 74 spear, this mini boss regenerated his health faster than I could damage it, so I was eternally stuck there, so I just TP'd out. On day 72 I used the hot air balloon to get to Canyon Beta to visit the Canyon Colossus raid. I would do the end, I did the raid, not just kidding thing, but I think we both know that it would be too much of a risk for me at this moment, and I seriously did not want to die, so I TP'd to Rodrock and started loot running from my memory. On day 73, someone claimed my monthly crate while I was IDing items, so thank you, kind stranger. I did not get any good items from loot running, but I started the first part of the Dwarves and Dogons questline, and I attended this theater play which portrayed dwarves as the good guys and Dogons as demons. However, in the remainder of the quest we find out that that is not exactly the truth. I spent almost the entirety of day 74 on this quest, as although it's only the first part of a 4-parter, it's still a really long and a really good quest. On the end of day 74 I started the second part. So on day 75 I destroyed some war machines and climbed out of the king-sized toilet to talk to the king and finished part 2. I also got the most godly Nighthawk I've ever seen, but I sold it because I had no use for a Nighthawk. On day 76 I did part 3, where I found out Dogons are trying a dangerous ritual to summon the demon Garahath. Guess dwarves weren't wrong with the demon thing, though it's just a small group of Dogons, not all of them. The story is more complicated. Anyways, this quest mostly composes of me collecting items that I will use in part 4, which I didn't do just yet because I didn't have a weapon able to beat the bosses just yet. So I went to the Sky Islands on day 77 to do 1000 meters under, which is a really good quest in which you explore the void in a submarine, but the submarine crashes and you are the sole survivor. Then on day 78 I met a lot of Kylo Rens and completed the Void Seeker discovery. But it's actually a really big playable area with loot chests and special mobs with drops that you can only get there. Not everyone knows that. And in one of those chests on day 79 I found a legendary spear. I fell into the void, but luckily this isn't the Sky Islands and you don't die, so I completed the quest, got 2 liquid emeralds and leveled up to level 105, completing my goal for this video. Yes! I was so happy I even shouted. I then ID'd the spear and I was looking for ignition. Sadly this wasn't it, so I kept my dragon stunk for now. On day 80 I then started the fortune teller quest, in which I grew a beanstalk and met that dragon from a never-ending story, and got a book which I then traded in Amsor for 2 liquid emeralds. On day 81 I started Recipe for Disaster, aka a parody of Hell's Kitchen with Chef Ramsay, not Ramsey though. That quest took me all over the Arms region and beyond. I went into this observatory that twitched gravity, which then sent me to the moon. It was kind of weird that the moon has blue sky, as it should have no atmosphere that would change the color of the universe, but I decided not to question it. There were also surprisingly a lot of Wibbles. I know you're supposed to say Wibbles, but for me they are just Wibbles, and then I crash landed back into Gavel. On day 82 I spent ages killing this mushroom to unlock a parkour to a high tier chest, and once I did I failed the parkour and it despawned, and I didn't have enough patience to do it again. I also went into the void again to collect something for Chef Hamzy. I was loot running while getting all the items for the quest. On day 83 I found a cheese merchant. And I finally found an ignition, so I was actually able to kill my bosses. I raised a snail. You might think there would be some catch, but no, I just raised a snail. It was super easy and I got a reward. On day 84 I used the balloon to get into the powder exchange to trade enough tier 4 powders that I collected throughout this run to make 3 tier 6 fire powders to equip them to my ignition, and I finished Recipe for Disaster, which gave me another LE. Also, remember that pirate queen that I killed on day 46? Well, they're looking for a replacement and I just happened to have a female pirate wig on me, and that's literally all I need for qualifications. Now of course, because I'm the player, they are rigged and I will become the pirate queen no matter what, and that's what I did. and I finished the quest on day 85, getting another LE. Since I had a better spear, I felt strong enough to start part 4 of Dwarves and Dogons. I got shot with a cannon, and then full-on war between Dwarves and Dogons commenced. I mean, the animations here were absolutely epic. My goal was to stop Dogons from summoning the demon, which I failed as they summoned him, but that didn't stop me from crawling into him and killing him from the inside. He had a surprising amount of eyes inside of his body, just saying. And I then finished the quest and got 5 liquid emeralds. Nice. On day 86, I TP'd to Levigar, Sinfras, and then used the Juggler's Tavern to get back to Amsort to get the entire Siegfried collection. Now, Siegfried is meant to be this legendary hero, just like Bob, who I just completely skipped off of this video. But to be honest, the quests with him make an excessive amount of time, and I already did them far too many times. So I started Hero of Gavel, a quest in which I found out that he is a fraud. There were these mysterious people everywhere, and I accidentally let him die. Oh well, I guess we won't get to see the Siegfried mass grave. And on day 87, I got shot from a geyser and completed the quest with another Siegfried just saying hi, hinting at there being some kind of conspiracy. I then started a journey beyond, my favorite quest in-game, which I even made into a movie. On day 88, I kind of struggled with the flying part, so I just charged through and I entered the Silent Expanse, my favorite area. Soon, all of my crew was dead, except for Aldar, who got eaten by a giant worm, so it would seem to be safe to assume that he died. But after I got eaten by the worm as well, on day 89, you get eaten in this game a lot, I found out he is alright, and he cruised in his cart all the way to Lutho while letting me kill all the mobs. For some reason, I had to do that part again, as it TP'd me out at the end. But whatever, and I got 3 LE after finishing this quest. I found a secret discovery in Lutho, and on day 90, I started a journey further, where at one point it bugged to me, not being able to see anything except the mobs. It was an interesting experience. This was the furthest I've ever been day-wise. I did slimy parkour and ended the quest with a very emotional ending, which gave me 5 LE and unlocked the hardest dungeon in game, the Eldritch Outlook, which I will keep for 200 days. On day 91, I started Point of No Return, a quest in which my soul separated from my body and I had to get it back. I found this is what happened to all the Lutho citizens, and they are living in this idyllic world that when I wanted to get out of, it kept pushing me back, which was interesting as it shows that you have to have a strong willpower to get out of the ideal into reality, which if you think about is also applicable in the real world. On day 92, I did the Olmec Cathedral, which is the last Silent Expanse quest I'm going to do, in which there isn't a single NPC. You find a drill and you have to find fuel in a cave nearby and then defend it from mobs that are attracted by the noise, and it unlocks a tall rune altar. After that, I did one last forgery run. I started with the later dungeons. Then on day 93, I did CDS and completed my guild objective. On day 94, I opened the forgery chest again to see how much XP I would gain. It was only 6% to 106. On day 95, I collected a total of 53 liquid emeralds, mostly from quests, so I decided to spend it on horses. I bought a lot of brown horses and I was able to get a chestnut with just 12 of them, so I still had 41 LE left, and to be honest, there is nothing much to spend them on now. And I went back to CDS and bought a 35 horse, with 40 being the best one. On day 96, I was wondering what I should do next, and that took the entire day, so I decided to go back to the Silent Expanse, where on day 97 I wasn't careful enough and I just stood in the middle of the ruined Olmec city and I got attacked by the Omnispective Wanderer and I almost died. An hour before the end of 33 hours worth of recording. I panicked, but then I charged out of there like a bullet. Yeah, after that I decided to loot run the Silent Expanse and waited for the celebratory event I wanted to do on day 100. On day 98, I found a really good fabled spear that I wanted, which I did. It was the Rhythm of the Seasons, and it had a special ability that charge would heal me, which is really good for a hardcore playthrough. But I found out that my Ignition deals more damage, so I would keep Ignition for fighting, Rhythm of the Seasons for healing, and Demon Seeker for XP and loot bonus. Then on day 99, I shouted because I completed it! This is all the gear that I used on my run, and on day 100, as a celebration of finally completing this 8 months after starting this challenge, I gave away 64 liquid emeralds. You could have entered the giveaway by being subscribed and commenting on my live stream. If you want to see me get to level 106, kill Death, Kira, Legendary Island, Orphean's Nexus of the Light, Canyon Colossus, VI, Panic Zealot, and any other endgame bosses on hardcore, then give this video 1,000 likes, as then I will start making 200 days of hardcore.